In the last video, we estimated how much revenue we would generate from the business case. Now, this was our top line. It is not enough just to know the top line. What we need to know is how much expenses we would incur in generating this amount of revenue. Only when we know the expenses, we can calculate what would be the actual amount of money we would generate from the business, or what would be our bottom line. We need to compute the expenses for each business line. I show you an example of a computation for expenses for one business line, that is custom application development. Now, to compute the expenses, I am taking this on a very high level. There are a lot of detailed calculations to be done to reach this level of computation. So the first expense head that we compute is what is the payments we will make to the vendors and what would be our administrative expenses. Now, we estimated that we would require to compute the expenses for a period of 12 months. That is the first year of our operation. Now, our further estimation was that based on the business canvas that we made, that we would require to deploy around about 30 resources to different projects. So we wanted to compute what would be the expense per resource so that we could arrive at the total expense. Now, while calculating expense per resource, we included all the expenses which were ancillary, that is, which were towards administrative cost and other expenses like recruitment cost, etc. So, for 12 months involving 30 resources, we would have a total number of 360 calendar months for which we would have to make payments. This meant that we would calculate what would be the expense per resource per calendar month. This computed to around about $3,500 in our case. This included all the cost, what was towards salary, towards recruitment cost, towards administration cost, etc. So the estimated total expense came out to $3,500 into 360 months, which was equal to around about $1.26 million. On top of this, we added that we would budget for a marketing expense of around about 3% of the turnover. This worked out to around about $70,000. And then we said that we would require some miscellaneous expenses. So we budgeted at the rate of 5% of the turnover as our miscellaneous expenses, and it worked out to $110,000. So our total expense, what we were anticipating during the calendar year, was around about $1.44 million. During the execution, we came across many challenges, including the most recent coronavirus pandemic. As a result of these challenges, we had to cut our expenses to the bare minimum. We ensured that we do not incur any expense other than the absolutely essential ones. However, it needs noting that we did not cut the salaries of any of the resources, or we did not terminate any of the jobs that we had on our roles.